Hi, ladies. So, better late than never. This is my very first live video. Happy Friday. And I apologize about the delay. I am very new to the tech and I was in a constant loop of figuring it out until I realized that something very basic. I needed to add a description to the live video to get it to launch. So, thank you for bearing with me. And like I said, it's like everything in life. You have to just get started. And, one of the core values of Ladies Level Up is progress, not perfection. And I definitely think I demonstrate the lack of perfection pretty well. But yeah, this is my first live Ladies Level Up in the group. Fingers crossed that all the text shows up where it's supposed to be and somebody out there is seeing that. But you know what? If not, there'll be a replay later and we'll work it out over time. This is just my chance to also, force myself to face my own fears. So it's Friday and I am at my work area. Right now I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma area. And I just wanted to thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for all of your support on this journey. It's been think creating Ladies Level Up has just been a vision in my heart for a long time. So for those of you that don't know, my name is Holly Wiggins, and like I said, this is my very first Facebook Live out into the community and out into the internet. And I'm hoping that with time it'll only just get better, both for me and hopefully for you. I envision a future where we have a podcast and I get to bring many wonderful women to share their stories with you. And hopefully you can begin to not only connect with these women, receive from their medicine of their story, but also be inspired about what's possible for you, for me, for all of us as we go on this crazy journey called life. So, Ladies Level Up really started from the aspect that I wanted to build what I couldn't find for myself in the world. So, I know some of you from my time in Louisiana, growing up in a small town called DeRidder, Louisiana, and lots of good experiences we had in those years. And then others of you I met through my years in college and in graduate school, my time in Washington, D.C., my time in Austin, Texas, some of my experiences internationally. But throughout my life, I've, experienced my relationship with women and my friendships with women in lots of different ways. Some of them have been positive and they've been wonderful and they've been life affirming and life changing. And then some of them have been kind of terrible and abusive and bullying and mean girl energy, if you know what I mean. And if I'm really honest with myself, I've been the mean girl too, either inadvertently or, out of a place of scarcity and jealousy and insecurity. So I don't judge that because I've been that too in my life. But, as I look over the stories of my life and probably some of the stories of your life too, there's a definite sense of society pitting women against each other. And we see that in so many ways. We see that in how I remember when I was younger, and I'm totally going to date myself, and that's okay, I don't mind. But when I was younger in the 80s and 90s, all of the magazines and the television shows had this feature that they called Who Wore It Best. And basically, they would take two women side by side in the same outfit, and then they would critique who wore the outfit better. And they would attack women's style, the way they accessorize the outfit, all the way to their hair, their makeup, and their body. And just that subconsciously always going into our psyche as women growing up, competing against each other, who wore it best, when in fact, who cares? Like everybody wore it the way they should wear it and it was perfect for them. But we've had this subconscious messaging that there's just not enough for all of us, and that we have to bite and scratch and have this, quote unquote cat fight to be able to get a piece of what we want. And then on top of it, when we see someone get what we want, we internally struggle with jealousy, insecurity, feelings that it's not for me, it's only for them. And that can play on our self-esteem. It can tear us down. It can make us feel like something's missing, that we're not enough, that we're less than, and what does that look like? Well, you're not pretty enough, or you're not smart enough, or you're not athletic enough, or you're too old, or you're too young, or you're too curvy, or you're too thin, you don't have enough curves, too poor, too rich. Like, it's just constantly, as women, we're being told we're not enough, and that we have to fight and scratch to get something. And then as I evolved in life, I had my own struggles with that. I'm not going to lie, I had my own struggles with that, as I'm sure many of you did. But then I began to realize this is from scarcity mentality. It's from this belief that there's just a little bit and we all have to compete for it. But as you begin to go on your journey in life and you begin to realize, as women, we are creators. Like, we are divinely appointed to create. We make life out of our bodies, and not just physical life, but like even symbolic life. We give life to new ideas. We give life to new ways of thinking, to new ways of creating, to new ways of partnering. And so when you begin to think about the creative power that we as women have divinely been given in our feminine energy, in our divine right, we don't have to think about the world as scarce. We can think about the world as abundant, because if it doesn't exist, we can create it, and we can create it with our other sisters. And so moving from that mentality of scarcity, and it's not enough to go around, and I'm not enough to be whatever, to the world is abundant, and whatever's missing, I can create it, and me and my sisters can create it, has been a shift over the last 49 years of my life. So, I just wanted to create a space, a community of women who also like feel this way, because one of the biggest lies and strategies that I think we've bought into in my generation and the generations behind me and before me is this mentality of divide and conquer. Like, if they can keep us divided, if society can keep us competing against each other and divided as a country, divided as a gender, divided as a community, then they can hold us down and conquer us. And that can look like a lot of different things. It can look like not being represented enough in boardrooms, not being represented in media. It can look like not being paid what we're worth, not being recognized for our voice. And so divide and conquer is real. And don't get me wrong, I don't think people often realize that that's what's happening. I don't think it's intentional. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't think that's intentional, but I do think it is something that's happened in our world in the last, I'll say, 300 to 400 years, if not before that. And so I think that there's a movement happening. In fact, I know there is. And that is where women are waking up to what they bring to the table. They're waking up to the fact that we don't have to all be the same to collaborate in sisterhood. I don't have to have the same religion as you. I don't have to be the same political party as you. We don't have to have the same background. We don't have to be the same race. You can be a mom and I can be an auntie, but we can still come together and collaborate on things that we're interested in and where we have overlap. And so Ladies Level Up is about rejecting scarcity mentality. It's about rejecting divide and conquer. And it's about bringing together like-minded women who want to level up or change something in their life or their community or their world. And they want to partner and find their tribe to do that. So that's what this community is about. And so if you've stumbled upon this Facebook group, I want you to know this is an entry point to a bigger movement that I'm working on. And your being here is not by chance. There's something in my message, something that you're hearing that resonates deep within you. There's a voice within you. I often talk about this as being your superpower, your intuition, but that voice has been stirring. And you know that your story and your journey and your life experiences were not a waste. They were not for naught. They actually have a purpose behind them, and you're just looking for the community and the sisterhood that can help you bring your magic, your medicine, your beauty to the world. And that I use those words interchangeably. That can be a lot of different things. Maybe for you, it's about being a model to your own daughter or your own niece or the young people in your community that you have influence over. Maybe for you, it's being a model back to yourself. So you can remember who you are. You can remember what that little girl, that young girl dreamt about doing at this stage in her life. And maybe life got busy and you forgot about her, but you want to find her again. Maybe bringing your voice out is about an idea that you have, a divinely inspired idea that's come deep into your intuition and it needs to come forth. It could be a business. It could be a new way of doing things. It could be getting involved in your local community or your local political system or your local place of worship. Maybe that medicine or that divine gift, that voice is to begin to tell your story, to show up authentically in your life. I know for me, a big journey that I had to overcome was not changing my voice to make everyone else accept me or feel comfortable. I was raised in a very structured, and there was good in it, there was beauty in it, but a very structured church culture that told me my value was showing up in a certain way, and anytime I deviated from that, I was bad. I was not, I didn't fit into the group anymore. And if I did deviate, I would be kicked out of the tribe. And it took me a long time of deprogramming, people pleasing, man pleasing, pleasing figures of authority. I had to undo that in my life and find out what is my authentic voice? What do I care about? And am I going to be brave enough to start to say that when no one else understands me, when I lose friends and family over it, when I make other people, other insecure people feel uncomfortable, am I still going to show up authentically to what's stirring in my heart? And I'm still on that journey. It's not great. Like, I'm not going to lie, it's hard every day. And I've lost people in my life on this journey. I've lost friends who I thought would be with me forever, um, just because I wanted to be my authentic self. Maybe that's you. Maybe there's a message in your heart, a part of your story, something that you need to bring to the world, but you're struggling with raising up your voice. Your throat is blocked because speaking that truth would be so scary on some level and possibly so isolating. This community is here to support you. This community is here to say, hey, it doesn't matter if I agree with you or if I disagree with you. I just want you to be you. And I want you to be what you've been divinely created to be so that you can show up authentically for yourself. So this vision of Ladies Level Up Sisters, it's about creating a safe place where we can talk about what's on our hearts, have support in leveling up our life, and dream what is possible. And a lot of that is going to be done through watching the stories of other people. I always tell women, you think your story is not important, but there is someone out there that when you tell your story, it's going to show them what's possible. It's going to be the 4-minute mile for them. It's going to be the thing that we didn't think was possible until someone did it and then showed others, come along, it can be done. So one of the visions of Ladies Level Up going forward is to uplift your stories. I'm working right now on a podcast, and in that podcast, it's going to bring everyday people like me and like you to the platform, and we're going to share the stage, and I want them to tell you their story. What is normal and regular about their life, and then what are they doing? What have they overcome? That's super phenomenal, so that you and I can be inspired by how ordinary women are changing the world every day. And that scale doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're changing the world for yourself or for one person or for your community or for 5,000 people or 100,000 people. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that you follow your own intuition to be authentic and to show up in what was in your heart. So part of this community is to share our stories and to encourage each other from our stories. So that's part of it. I know I said I grew up in church culture. When I was really young, about 13 years old, I went on what we call a mission trip, which means I left the country and went to another country, and we did things like build houses and give food out and did stuff like that. But there was, if you're familiar with church culture, you know that there's a time on the mission trip where you're supposed to give your testimony. And it's very scary as a young person to get on a microphone and stand before all these strangers and tell your testimony, right? And a lot of you out there know what I'm talking about, because you grew up in a church too, and you know what I'm talking about. I can remember at age 13, I thought I had the lamest testimony, because at that point, life hadn't been that bad. And the parts that were, I wasn't able to really alchemize what I was going through at the time. Because now looking back, I know that I had been bullied some by girls and things like that. But at the time, I didn't know. Life felt fine. So when I stood up to give my testimony, I'm like, what can I say? This basic person, basic girl from a pretty safe and happy small town for the most part, had a pretty good experience in school, to these people to testify. Like, what can I say? And I really struggled with imposter syndrome. Like, I have nothing to say. Nobody wants to hear me. So I had a pretty boring testimony early on in life. But you know what? Boy, did that change. Um, I now love my story, but it was brutal. Some of you that went to high school with me in junior high, you don't even know what's been going on in my life. And I don't know what's been going on in your life. And I want to hear more about it. But let me tell you, I have ridden a roller coaster of life. I have been betrayed. I've been divorced. I've gone through bankruptcy and lost my house. I've had negative balance in my bank account and didn't know where I was going to get the next money to pay my bills. And I've had great experiences. I've gone to graduate school. I've traveled the world. I've loved wonderful people, both in friendships and romantically. I had a beautiful wedding at one point, even though it didn't work out. It was a great snapshot in time. But I've been through some things too. And, I have a testimony now, that's for sure. And I want to share that with you over the next few weeks. And I hope to hear more about yours as well. But the point being is that all of our stories matter, and we all live different stories. When I was in Washington, D.C., for about 6 years of my life, some of the best years of my life, I had a roommate, Jenny Filer, and she's a member of this group. So shout out to Jenny. She used to say this statement over and over and over. And I always thought it was so basic, but it means so much more now. She would say, all of our stories are different, and that's okay. Everybody lives their own story. And she would tell that to me when I was doing what a lot of us do, which is looking at what I wanted in someone else's life, comparing my state where I was at in life, and feeling like I was either behind, or it wasn't meant for me and I was never going to have it, or just that I was, cursed and I wasn't going to get it. So I would look at someone that was married, or I would look at someone that had the money that I wished I had, or look at someone that had the home that I wished I had. And I would feel like it's never going to happen for me. I'm never going to have those things. I'm behind. I'm too old. I'm too late. And Jenny would say to me, you cannot compare everybody else. I mean, you've heard it say, comparison is the thief of joy. But you can't compare yourself to other people, because we all have different stories. We all have different timelines. And all of the weaving of those stories and those chapters, they have a purpose. They have a message. And for a lot of people, they have a medicine. So Ladies Level Up is also about normalizing that we have different stories, and we don't need to compare each other. We can cheer and celebrate for each other. And when I see that sister out there who's on a stage of 10,000 people talking to the world, or has a beautiful husband and a beautiful family and beautiful children, it just means that what's possible for her is possible for me, but in my own timeline, not in her timeline, in my timeline. So I want you to think about, as you go on this journey about connecting with us in Ladies Level Up, what is your story? What parts of it have you hated and you wished hadn't happened? What parts of it are you grateful for? And how can you see that entire arc, that entire timeline, someday being medicine for someone else, or even back for your own heart and your own healing? Something to think about as we go through this. So, ladies, in the next few weeks, I want to encourage you, if you haven't already, to get more active in our Facebook group. Why? Why should you do that? Well, for one, you're here because you want to meet other like minded sisters. And you can't make friends by staying behind closed doors. You can only make friends by putting yourself out there. One of the tenets of Ladies Level Up, one of our values is trust is built in transparency. And for wounded sisterhood, for women who have been told to compete, for women who've been told that they don't belong or that, you know, so and so is snobby or so and so is cliquey, trust is the foundation of building friendships, especially in our adult lives. It was easy when we were in kindergarten or even in college when you were thrown into classes and you met people. It's a lot harder to make friends in your adult life, especially over 25, 30, 35, 40. It's hard. And so I want to encourage you, you're here, you've joined our group. If you want to really connect with other women, you need to put yourself out there. You need to get involved. I'm going to have some polls. I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to want to get you out there, putting yourself out there, meeting each other. And I want your input on the community that I'm building later on this year. So this Facebook group is a incubator of kind. It's a chance for me to understand, what do you wish you had in the world? I wanted Ladies Level Up to be what I needed when I was in my 20s and 30s and early 40s. And now I want to build that and give that back, both again for myself going into my 50s, but then also for all of you. So what is it you need? What do you need from this community? What are you looking for? What parts of what I'm talking about resonate with you? This is your chance to shape it and be a part of it. So some of you may or may not know, I have a day job. I work right now for the US government, and this is by no way affiliated with the US government. Everything that I say here is my own personal opinions and personal thoughts. They are not represented by anything in my day job. So let's just separate this by now. That's a different hat I wear on a different day. But besides my day job, I also do coaching. I do leadership coaching. I'm getting into the space of training women in AI. And my one-on-one coaching fees are not cheap. Like, I start at like $350 an hour. Most people that want to work with me can't afford to work with me one-on-one. And so the Ladies Level Up community that we're building is going to be a coaching community, but it's going to be one that's scaled at a cost where more people can get one to many, where me and other women who are professionals who have expertise will come in and they will coach you so you don't have to pay one-on-one hourly for leadership coaching and then a separate price for resume building coaching and then a separate price for health building coaching. The future Ladies Level Up community will be a paid community that has a cost sharing aspect of it. So for a small rate, you will be able to come in and you'll get to hear from me in leadership and mindset and growth and resilience and AI. But then you'll also get to enjoy master classes from women in health and wellness, in um, executive career building, in resume building, in job hunting. You'll get to hear from lawyers on how to, if you want to start a business, how to build your first LLC or, S Corp. You'll get to hear from women who are skilled in spiritual awakening, skilled in health and wellness, skilled in esoteric things. I will bring them in and you can cherry pick. What do you want to participate? Which master classes do you want to attend? There'll be an opportunity in this future group we will have a marketplace where women can buy from other women or women can barter with other women. So let's say you're someone that wants to start your own business and you really need a marketing person or you really need an accountant to talk to. And then there's an accountant over here who needs what it is you have. Maybe you're a business consultant or maybe you're a lawyer. In the Ladies Level Up marketplace, you will be able to go out there and either buy from another woman and keep the money in the community of women and support the community, or offer a bartering opportunity where, hey, let's trade. I need this for my business. You need this. Let's barter and trade. So the future community will have a marketplace where women can truly support other women, and we can keep the dollars in the community and circulate it so that we all rise together. Another exciting thing about the community we're building is that you'll have the opportunity to connect in virtual opportunities with women from all over the world. There'll be co-working hours where if, hey, you need to be productive and, Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. are your time where you can work on whatever it is you're working on, you can jump in on a co-working session with women from all over the world and jump on a Zoom and hold each other accountable. And for that 1 hour, be productive and cheer each other on. There'll be opportunities where you can find people in the areas that you're interested in. Maybe you have a spiritual background that you're particularly focused on, or maybe you are really on the health journey, entrepreneurship journey, changing careers journey, learning AI journey. You'll be able to find sisters who have the same value of women supporting women and not competing in these areas of interest, and connect with them and build friendships. You'll be able to find people in your local area. The community we're building allows you to find people that are right down the road, and you can go have real life coffee together. So what we're seeing for the future of the Ladies Level Up community, the coaching community, is an opportunity to give you access to a sisterhood who believe like me. It's not the mean girls, it's the hype women, it's the hype girls lifting each other up. You'll be able to find friendships, you'll be able to find business partners, people to do business with. You'll be able to find people to inspire you, whether it's for one short chapter of your life or for the whole novel. So that's what we're thinking about Ladies Level Up, but I want to create it in a way that it's meaningful to you. So getting involved in the Facebook group is your chance to build with us. It's your chance to be heard. It's your chance to lift up your voice and show up. Stop shrinking in the background. Stop hiding from being engaged and participating in your own life. This is the moment to get involved. These next few months, get involved in our group. Join our Facebook Lives. I promise I'll get better with the tech. Join our live Q&As. Attend and watch our podcast. My vision with the podcast is to take those women that will be featured and later bring them into the coaching community and let them have a private Q&A with the members. What would you like to ask them? I am not egotistical enough to think that I have all the answers. I don't. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. There may be aspects of me today that'll look very different in a year from now because I'm on my growth journey too. But what I want is sisters to do it with me. And I want to learn from you. I want to learn from all of you. And I want you all to learn from each other. And so part of the vision of this community is to do just that. But it only works if you show up and you start participating. So, after this, I want to encourage you after this live video, if you have a story to tell the world, drop a yes in the chat right now. Drop a yes. If you have something that the world needs to hear, drop a yes in the chat. Also, I want to talk a little bit about what do I mean when I say collaboration. So our core value is collaboration, not competition. And, we are living in a world right now, especially if you're in the United States, but honestly, this applies to all over the world. We're living in a world that is deeply divided. I'm 49 years old, and I don't think I've ever seen the United States of America as divided as it is right now. And I talk about that a lot with my own mentors and friends. I think some of it is just this mindset that if we're not 100% alike, we can't be in relationship with each other. If you're not my religion, or you're not my skin color, or you didn't come from the country or the city, or you don't vote the way I vote, or you don't live at the level I live at, then I can't be friends with you. Like that's the message that we're living in this world right now. You don't understand me. You didn't live my life. You're different from me. You know what? It's true. We are different from each other. I don't understand everything you've gone through, but you also don't understand everything I've gone through. And we're never going to reach that point if we don't learn to work together and be in relationship with each other despite our differences. In fact, celebrating our differences. So true collaboration is just what I said on my post earlier this week. We don't have to be clones of each other to collaborate. We simply We just have to respect our differences and allow us to be our own unique, honest versions of ourselves. You know, I have many people I work with that I don't try to change to have them be like me to work with me. I respect their beliefs, I respect their views. But on that one area of collaboration, we're able to come together and do something great. And sometimes that's a project, sometimes that's a business, sometimes it's an idea, sometimes it's just coming together in friendship. So if you want to be in our community, you have to be able to collaborate with people that are different than you. This is not a community where you come and you try to make everyone like you. We don't want you to come here and try to make everyone believe your religion or believe your politics. We just want you to hold space for everyone to show up authentically as themselves, to respect that, and to look for those places where we do have overlap and work together on the overlap. I'm a huge believer that real innovation only happens when we have diversity. Like if we all thought the same and looked the same and had the life experiences, we would have group think in our brainstorming sessions. We would all just have the same ideas. It's an echo chamber, and echo chambers never drive innovation. I also believe that women have a unique skill set of empathy and tolerance that can demonstrate to the world how we don't have to all be alike to grow and to innovate and create and change our world. Now, granted, we're going to be on different sides of the fence on different things. You know, we might share ideology on one issue and be on different sides of the fence on a different issue. That's okay. We have to learn how to discourse together with respect and acknowledgement. We can't just cancel out people that don't agree with us. So, Ladies Level Up is about collaboration. Sometimes short-term collaborations, sometimes middle term, and sometimes longer term collaborations. But if you are coming here, you're coming here to work together, to value each other, to respect our differences, and cohabitate together in this sisterhood. And I really believe it has to be women that demonstrate to the world how this happens. Because as much as I love men, and those of you that know me know that I love men a lot, actually. I want a man in my life. As much as I love men, they've kind of dropped the ball in the patriarchy of what it looks like to collaborate and to work with people that are different. I believe that's why we're in such a polarized society right now, but I'm hopeful that the women will drive the change. I'm hopeful that groups like Ladies Level Up will demonstrate to the world what can happen when people collaborate despite their differences and innovate to change the world. So, what we are in this group is we're not religious, we're not political. Our religion is love. That's our only religion, love. Love in its truest, fullest form. Love that allows everyone to be authentic. Love that respects everyone's journey on its timeline. Not everybody's going to be where you're at. Not everyone's going to have the same aha moments that you've had, but we're able to hold that space for each other as sisters in love and accept where people are at. So that's one thing that if you can't get on board with that, this probably isn't the group for you, because we're not here to become one mindset in the sense that all become the same. We're here to show the beauty and the fabric of our diversity and what can still be done in collaboration despite that. So definitely want to encourage you to think about that. So ladies, going forward, we've talked about how we'll use the space. We've talked about how your story matters. We've talked about what does it mean to collaborate. We've talked about what you can expect now in the Facebook group and where we're headed in the coaching community, and how this is your moment to help shape it and to build friendships. So before I close, I just want to talk a little bit more about these Friday Night Lives. I'm going to come every Friday that I can. I'll have an event and I'll figure out the tech, because I think there was a confusion between the event and like what I'm streaming on right now, but that's okay. I'll figure it out. But we're going to come in, and each week we'll have a different topic that I'll focus on, and I'll open up the floor for Q&As if there are people here, and if not, the replay will be available to you. But one of the underlying themes that you're going to hear me talk about, and I'll probably go into more next week, is why am I passionate about AI? Why? Because I know it's really scary for a lot of people, but what I want to just say to kind of tease this out is that I've been doing research and there are already early indicators that the AI that's evolving right now is still disproportionately representing the interest of women. It's still giving a bias a little bit in what we need as women, both in like areas of representation and also in terms of being paid equally with men who do the same work. And that gulf is going to get wider if we as women don't jump into the water. And so I truly believe that AI is a once in a generation opportunity for us to close the gaps that we've been living in for the last 50 years and even longer. But I'm going off my life experience. And I can share many stories where I've seen the gaps, I've seen the underrepresentation, I've seen the inequity in the way things have been in my own career trajectory in my own life. Um, AI gives us a tool to amplify our stories, to help shape. I mean, basically, all AI is going to be is a mirror of who we are as a civilization. And if that if that mirror doesn't represent all of us, if it doesn't reflect back who we all are, because some of us chose to deny this revolution and deny the change that's happening and not participate, then we're not creating a new system for our daughters and nieces and our next generation. So AI, to me, can be intimidating. It can have ethical issues. It can be scary, but it can also be a tool, a bestie, a friend to help amplify your dreams, your visions, and rebuild a world where there's more equity and representation, and we have the opportunity to jump many levels in advancement through having systems that are better for us, through leveraging the tool to save us time and the kind of work that we as women often get stuck doing. So those are things that I want to make and bring AI to you in a way that you can begin to see how it can make your life better, and your participation in it can reflect a world where women's voices and stories and ideas are going to be represented going forward. So I have friends, I have experts in the community that I will bring who will also teach in the coaching community. And, we'll start at different levels. We'll start at a beginner's level. Like what are the 5 things it can do? I did a post today. What are the 5 things it can do for you right now? How can it help you in your health journey? How can it help you write an email or plan your day or find a recipe or plan a trip? Like there's basic things it can do. Some of you probably already know this, but then thinking about the mundane and the time suck work that you've been doing, or the vision of the business or the message or the idea or the dream in your heart, how can AI bring that to the world so that your voice is amplified? So that's also an opportunity that I have to just bring forward to you, because I want as many of you participating in developing this new world as possible. It's part of us getting our mission out to make sure that women are working in collaboration and sisterhood and in representation of where we're headed in the future. So as I close tonight, I want to thank you for coming with me on this journey. Thank you for your patience with the tech. If you didn't get to join me live, I hope you'll watch the replay. I'm very excited and very grateful for you. I'm looking forward to finding more sisters in alignment with the heart and vision of Ladies Level Up. So please, if you haven't already, join the community. The link will be on this post. Join the community, get involved, go on this journey over the next few months. And let's begin to think about, what is 2026 going to look like? We're 5 to 6 months from 2026. What is that going to look like for you? How are you going to show up for yourself? How are you going to build community? And stop hiding. Stop hiding from being present in your life. Make some new friends. Find your bestie, find your community, find your tribe, find your business partner, find your cheerleader, find your hype woman here in Ladies Level Up. All of you are welcome. We only ask that you come with a spirit of collaboration and not competition. The world is abundant. We are creative, and I want us to build it together.